So you didn't ask for it, but I'm doing it anyway. This is all of Europe in 1444, every single country. Mercifully, they left out the Holy Roman Empire this time, but I'm going to try and explain as much as I can. I'm going to reset this timer just so everyone knows what's up. Perm. Now, that's interesting. I'm going to try and explain in as much detail as I can, but quite briefly. Perm was a Russian principality right on the east, which was heavily involved in Siberian colonization. Kashin, another Russian principality. I'm not going to be able to do all of these, but we'll see. I think it's this one. Oh yes, Venice. Fascinating. They were declining in terms of their raw influence after 1204. But territorially, they had this huge amount from the Milanese and the Veronans and all those sorts of people. So Venice was quite strong in 1444. Granada, the final Islamic Spanish colony country over there. Westmeath, very interesting Irish minor principality. Now, these Irish minor principalities are very, very complicated. I won't be able to get all of these, but Westmeath, it's this one in it. Oh, yes. Andorra, which is currently a microstate in the Pyrenees Mountains. It's very hard to have centralized government control. So that's why Andorra has been able to survive for so long. Oh, yes. Kildare. Kildare is another Irish principality, but you know what? I'm going to take my winnings and only do the easy Irish ones. So we're good at it. Offaly. That's another Irish principality. It's over here, but who knows where it is. San Marino, that's a microstate over there, and it's still standing. Amazing. Ragusa was a very interesting city-state on the Adriatic. There you go. Thomond. Thomond was an Irish principality, and it's right on the coast here. Oh, yes. Sambia. Sambia, now, in the Teutonic Order, which was basically German knights with Hanseatic traders on the coastline with pagan and Slavic Christians nestled in between in the countryside. Now, I think Sambia, is it this one? Is it this one? Or is it this one inside the Teutonic Order? I think it's this one. There you go. Plock. Plock. What kind of name is that? That is a Polish principality that's not under the Polish crown. I think it's this one. It could be this one, but I think it's this one. Oh, yes. Kurland. Probably famous for the Kurland pocket in World War II. It's basically an area of modern-day Latvia. And it's this one. That's right. Cyprus. It was actually one of the last Crusader states at this point. Guy de Lusignan's family ran it. Sweden. They owned Finland at that point. Leinster. Leinster is an Irish principality, and it's right there, but I don't want to click. I want to click Wexford first, just so I know what I'm talking about. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm going to risk it. Oh, yes. Okay, Muscovy. Now, these guys were not the powerhouses that they became. There was still... they're over here, by the way. They still did not overcome Novgorod, and they still had not overcome the hordes. And even Lithuania was bigger than Muscovy at this point, but they were a rising power. Desmond. I think it's this one, but it could be Munster. I think, I'm going to do 80 before I do these little Irish principalities. Brittany. Everyone knows about Brittany. Free Brittany. Leave Brittany alone. Serbia. They were at their peak in the 1350s, and they were still quite powerful at this point. They were actually allies with the Ottomans for a long time. Battle of Ankara against Timur. Scotland, with a little bit of Ireland. Clanacard. I think it's this one, but it could be Sligo. It could be, there's so many principalities. The Ryazan was a Russian principality, and they're over here. Oh, yes. Tver, another Russian principality. And yes, this is all from EU4. This is where I get this knowledge. Ermland. It's right here. Oh, yes. Castile. They'd almost united Spain by this point, and they were very soon to become the powerhouse. But then a total curveball was thrown when one man inherited Spain, Austria, Germany, and the Netherlands all at once, Charles. But that was in the future. Riga, which was actually a Catholic archbishopric, even though it was very mercantile, they're over here. Oh, yes. Zeta, modern day Montenegro. It's this one. They didn't have a coastline. Oh, yes. Ormond. Ormond is in the middle, but I don't want to click it yet. It's very tricky, these ones. Papal states, they had very large amount of Latium, Romagna, Urbino, and this little bit of Avignon as well. And of course, they claimed a lot of political power all over Europe. Theodoro, fascinating remnant of the Goths from the fall of the Roman Empire. And they apparently spoke Gothic until the late Middle Ages. Fascinating language, fascinating people. I wish they survived. Teutonic Order, that's right. Everyone loves the Teutonic Order. Tyrconnell. Tyrconnell is right here. Oh, yes. And now we've got the proper one. Go on, England. There you go. Look at that. So we've got Normandy, we've got Dublin, we've got Saint-Égon, Bayonne, Guyenne, what's that? Bordeaux. That's right. Desmond. Desmond, where are you? Ah, Desmond, I think you're on the south. It's Munster and Desmond, but I'll do it later. Now, France. They'd centralized quite a lot. They were very weak in the early Middle Ages because of their decentralized political structure. But now they were just about to start solidifying and becoming the early modern powerhouse that they became. Also, they were the highest population in Europe, which really mattered. Ulster. Still part of Britain today, actually. Portugal. I was just there, actually. Wallachia. So alongside Moldavia, this is one of the early Romanian principalities. At this point, this is the kind of era of Vlad the Impaler. Ormond. Stop asking! The Livonians, the Sword Brothers, very interesting crusading order in the Baltic. Nice. The Great Horde, they were the descendants of the Genghisid Mongol line, but they were destroyed by Tamerlane in about the 1390s, and they'd never really recovered, but they still had quite a lot of territory. Munster. It's Munster and Desmond, I'm getting them confused. Mullakono, that was actually a site of a famous battle that the Russians had, Mukolino, with the hordes. It must be this one, because that's Novgorod. So, there you go. Afali, it's yet another Irish principality. Stop asking. Pilar was right next to Andorra. It's another little city-state. Nice. The Ottoman Empire, powerhouse, absolute powerhouse. Tyrone. I was going to make a joke there, I'm not going to. Tyrone's this one. Provence, right in the south. King Rene ran that at that point. He tried to take over Naples. He tried to do all kinds of stuff. Stop asking me where Ormond is. Moldavia is over here, just like in the modern day. Mayo. It's here. It's one of these. It's one of these four. There's Sligo, Clanreid, Mayo, and another one. Kildare is right in the middle. But just give me a second, okay? The Avar Khanate, they were a shadow of their former self. The Avars at one point used to own all of Romania and Hungary, but they were this little guy. And that's all they had. Norway. We also had Icelander. Dorpat, what a stupid name. Dorpat is basically a Baltic state, and it's over here. Bosnia, very interesting Catholic kingdom at this point. They hadn't converted to Islam because the Ottomans hadn't conquered them yet. And they're over here. They're separate from Herzegovina. Usul is this little island here, and it was basically a Catholic duchy. Oh yes. East Frisia. It was a German state that wasn't part of the Holy Roman Empire, not to be confused with Friesland. East Frisia, everyone knows it. I mean, not many people know it at all, but everyone should because, they tried. Couto Mistro. That's a little city-state similar to Andorra between Portugal and Spain that honestly I really don't know much about. Pskov, Russian principality, tied with the Muscovites, but kind of independent at this point. And they're over here. Epirus, fascinating, one of the Francocracy, rule of the Franks Crusader states, and in Greece after the Fourth Crusade. Celje. Celje is a fascinating anomaly. The Austrian Habsburgs always regarded themselves as the defenders of the little guys, small states. And so they never conquered this little area right between Austria and Hungary. Burgundy, the flower of chivalry, Renaissance, beautiful country with an amazing court life, incredible wealth, and sumptuous jousting tournaments. Amazing country, which is of course lost. The Knights of Malta. Actually, they weren't in Malta; they were in Rhodes at this point. They then got the Ottomans captured Rhodes, and they had to go to Malta. Fascinating. Munster. Munster, oh god, it's one of these. It's between Desmond and Munster, and I can't remember. League of Lecce, that was basically a proto-Albanian, so Skanderbeg, who was a great general, ran this. Solj. Solj was a Bosniak principality, and I can't remember which one it was, and that's a tragedy. Flanders, right there, incredibly wealthy country, and basically there was a whole system where England produced the wool, Flanders then took the wool and made it into cloth, and there was a sort of international trade which made it hugely wealthy. Krivaja, that's this one, but I'm not even going to click it because I'm not sure. Pomesania, that's this one in the Teutonic Order. Denmark, which was quite strong there, and they had the Wittelsbach dynasty, which was very important, and they basically the King of Denmark would basically have this Kalmar Union, which is just falling apart, which is Norway, Sweden, Denmark, all in one. Very powerful, but divided. Lithuania, again, they were huge at this time, stretching from the Baltic to the Black Sea. And basically, as the hordes then retreated, Lithuania, which was pagan, they took over all this land in Ukraine and Belarus. Eventually, they turned Catholic and fused with Poland. Friesland. Nevers. Would I mistake this? Never. There you go. Clanacard. It's one of these. Just give me a minute, okay? Poland. Can't mistake it, although it definitely looks very different to its modern day borders. Navarre, which is this Basque principality. At some points they tried to expand outwards. They took Normandy, actually, through inheritance. But they're always very small, and eventually they became Spain. Stop asking me where Ormond is. The Holy Roman Empire. This map creator has done me a great mercy by not asking me to do the individual states of the Holy Roman Empire, but at this point it was, the Germans were very, very strong, but they were very, very divided, and so they were never, the Holy Roman Empire was very rarely a powerful political force in and of itself. Naples. Stop asking. Novgorod. I can finally stop this anxiety of accidentally clicking it instead of this arrow. Novgorod's right here. It was a mercantile Russian republic that eventually became part of Muscovy, and that's how they became Russia. Wexford. Wexford is a little village here, and basically it was started by the Vikings, and still independent to that day. Kildare, you know what? Look, I'm going to do them in a bit, okay? Let me get to 80 and then I'll do the really complicated ones. Stop asking. Kazan, they were a very large, powerful horde with a lot of cavalry. And the Kasanis fought some brutal wars with Russia, which eventually the Russians overcame. But they were over here. Stop asking. Genoa, little strip of land here alongside many colonies in the Crimea and Greece and all that stuff. I'm going to start clicking it, and even if I get it wrong, it's not going to be my fault. Byzantine Empire, they were in massive decline at this point, but after there was a very quite talented king, John, and also Manuel III. They were both quite competent kings, and so they basically went from being besieged in 1401, 1402 to regaining a little bit of land in Bulgaria, a little bit of land in Greece. So it wasn't just Constantinople, but the days were numbered. They were out. They were completely surrounded by this superpower of the Ottomans. But it's amazing how long they held out for, really. Sligo, Sligo, Sligo is over here. But look, I'm gonna face my fears and click it eventually. But I mean, come on, Crimea. That was basically a Tatar Khanate, and none of this was agricultural land, even though it was so fertile, because of this constant wars. And the Crimean Khanate was basically a slave state that captured Russians and Lithuanians and Poles and sold them to the Ottomans, and that was their entire economy. Eventually, they got conquered by Catherine the Great. Munster, Kildare, Hungary. Now, Hungary was a very large kingdom. They had Slovakia, they had Croatia, they had Transylvania, and it was one of the great kingdoms of medieval Europe. So don't knock Hungary, even though they're a very small country now. I'm going to click them in a bit. Okay, I'm going to start with Kildare, which is right there. I think Offaly is that one, but oh my god, I'm just going to start clicking it. Let me do Aragon first, okay? Let me get Aragon first. Oh, Kildare, Ormond, Kildare, Mayo, Herzegovina. thank God. Okay, Herzegovina is this big one here. Shirvan. Where's Shirvan? Oh, it's the Persian one, isn't it? Yeah, so that was modern day Baku. Oh dear. Oh dear. Ormond. Oh, I can't risk it. Breffni. It doesn't matter how many times I say it. Breffni was this one. Yes. No gay. This was a horde of. This is a cover. I'm just going to click it. Okay, I'm not going to explain it. Mari. That was a Russian principality. Warsaw, there we go, finally. And now it's all white and sorted. Sligo! I think, but if that's not Sligo, it has to be Sligo. Clanricarde. It could be the one at the end. It could be this one. I'm going to have to flip a coin. Offaly. Oh, it's so difficult. Solge. Okay, at this point, okay, I said I'm going to do 80, and then I can make mistakes. Let me finally do Aragon. Let me do Aragon. It's this massive one here. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to talk about Aragon until I click this. It was basically one of the superpowers of the Mediterranean. But again, it was divided between three different kingdoms, Catalonia, Valencia, and Aragon. And that basically weakened them, and so Castile was always the bigger partner. And when they united, the crowns united through marriage to make Spain, the colonization of the New World was basically closed off to Aragonese. It was limited to Castilians, specifically from Extremadura, which is where almost all of the conquistadors came from. And so, yeah, Aragon began to decline for a long time. But at that point, they owned Sicily and Sardinia, very, very powerful. Munster. You know what? I'm just going to do it. Okay? I think it's the one right at the end. Yeah! Therefore, Desmond. Let's do Desmond right now before I forget. Offaly. Mayo. Ormond. I'm going to do these Bosnian ones in a bit. It's a total guess, this one. Yes, Desmond. Wait, is it true? I'm second guessing myself now. Oh, I'm just going to do it. What else could it be? All right. I've only got 8 left and I've got 1 minute because I want this to be a 20-minute video. Kildare. I think it's this one. So difficult. I'm just going to click it. Offaly, it has to be the one in the middle. Yeah! Clanricarde. I can't. I come so far and got so far. No, that's not the song. I tried so hard and got so far. In the end, it doesn't even matter. This is Ormond. This is Kildare. Yes. Keep going. Oh. I can't handle the pressure. I can't handle the pressure. County Mayo. I think Clanacard is the one on the coast. Oh no, they're both on the coast. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to click it. I'm just going to click it. No. No. Mayo is on the outside. Solge. Clanacard. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. No! What a disgrace. Oh, I'm not going to be able to handle that. And on a random thing, it was all correct. It was all correct, except one. That's a disgrace. But anyway, I hope that's a good rundown of Europe in 1444.